Let me turn these notifications off. Yes, God family. I am coming live to just discuss something that has come up recently. It was something that honestly I did not intend to share, but just in a vulnerable moment, I shared something about my marriage and it took off like wildfire, but like wildfire. So I decided that, you know what, this is probably something worth discussing in more depth because there are a lot of women who are coming forward telling me that they have had the same experience. They have shared the same type of um, pain and trauma. And so I wanted to take some time to just come on and address a couple of things about myself as I move forward to share this very vulnerable part of my life. And first and foremost, I want to say that I am speaking directly to women. I'm not speaking to men. If you are a good man, nothing about what I'm discussing should be affecting you or triggering you to want to respond to what I'm saying to women. If you feel like you need me to provide more context, more detail, explain myself, you are looking at this the wrong way. You are not my target audience, and you can kindly GTFOH. Okay. So I just want to start off by saying that I had a post to go viral a couple days ago, and I talked about how my husband would pay all the bills, take me on fancy trips, my ex husband. And he also bought me a home. And from the outside looking in, it was, what a lot of people on the internet will tell you is what a man is supposed to do. He was protecting and providing from a physical standpoint. However, I want to share my story and share my perspective as a woman who was protected and provided for in a material financial way that was not protected and provided for in an emotional, psychological, mental way. And I will first also start this off by saying that it is our responsibility as women to gatekeep ourselves and access to ourselves. So I'm never going to be the person that, blames my husband or puts him down, my ex husband. But I'm here, I want to clarify that um, I had the accountability and the responsibility of listening to my intuition and listening to my gut. Typically, when women are involved in abusive situations, they are slowly yet surely persuaded that they are overreacting, that they are not seeing things properly, that they have trauma that's making them see it this way. And all of those things are called being gaslit. And someone commented today and told me to really make sure that I'm having grace with myself. And so I'm taking that to heart and I'm taking that as something that I will very much lean into because my circumstance is not rare. It's not different. It is something that I guess fortunately or unfortunately was really the first time I had really experienced this type of dynamic. I had never been involved in what I would consider an abusive relationship before this. I consider myself as someone who is very independent, very strong minded, strong willed, and very capable of protecting myself both physically and emotionally. However, when someone presents themselves to you as a person who is safe and trustworthy and kind, it can start to confuse you when you are starting to experience glitches in that reality of who they have initially presented themselves to be. So, this video is again to quickly come on and just say that my conversation that I'm speaking to is for women, it's not for men. So, if you're a man and you feel compelled to comment, that probably means you're a bitch ass nigga, for one. And secondly, kindly get out of here, like beat it, because I'm not talking to you. My work is not for men. My work is not to analyze men. My work is not to figure out why they do what they do. My work is not to be concerned with men in any way, shape, or form. My work is to help women embody their divinity, their goddess consciousness, and to understand that they have the responsibility for the experiences that they have in their life. And in order for women to do that, we first must start to take accountability for the trauma and the situations that we have experienced. So, again, this is not for men. My content is not for men. My page is not for men. My message is not for men. I really, I am not focused on men at all. What I'm focused on is women embodying their goddess self. I'm focused on empowering women to realize that their gut and their intuition is very important, and it's one of the most powerful spiritual tools they have. And I am here to support you and be a safe space for releasing the trauma that you may have experienced, whether it's from childhood, adolescence, or even adulthood, because trauma is not just something that has happened when we were children. It's something that we all face and all are exposed to on a daily basis. And with that being said, I just want to say again, the juxtaposition of being financially provided for and taken care of does not mean that the responsibility of being emotionally provided for and emotionally taken care of is now no longer exist. I'm here for it. Thank you. Yes, God. Yes, God. And I did find that there were, some men over on threads, commenting, well, what was the rest of the situation and what was the story? Now, I am not here also to claim that I am a perfect person or I'm a perfect woman, even though I am perfect. In terms of relationship, yes, it does take two to tango. Yes, there were definitely things that I did wrong. There were definitely things that, I'm not perfect. No human being is. However, there are certain things that should be off limits in terms of the way that you treat another human being who you claim to care about and want to be in relationship with. And so I'm not here to, again, pit men as bad and women as good. I am here to just simply share a part of my journey, a part of my story, in hopes that it can inspire women to be empowered, to value themselves enough to listen to their gut. When you see early warning signs of really in the relationship, whether it's with a man or a woman, with anyone, when someone shows you who they are, you have to believe them. You cannot make excuses for them. You cannot say, oh, well, they're just having a bad day, or oh, well, they're just going through this thing, or oh, well, they just lost their job. There is no excuse for someone treating you poorly. If someone treats you poorly when they are facing distress in their lives, that means that they are not emotionally mature enough to handle life as it ebbs and flows. Things are not always going to be on an upswing. Sometimes there's going to be things that trigger us and make us upset, and that is not an excuse to treat the people that we care about poorly. And not to say that I'm exempt from ever doing that. I know I have done that. However, I am emotionally intelligent and aware and have done enough work on myself to where I can recognize it immediately and I can course correct myself in the moment, or shortly thereafter. So all this to say that, don't be ashamed of the things that you've been through because you feel like, well, I had a part in it too. Everyone has a part in everything. Okay. And the reality of life is that, again, it ebbs and flows, it goes ups and down. There's not going to be any perfect relationship. There is no such thing as a perfect relationship. However, there are standards and boundaries that should be adhered to. Disrespecting someone, making someone feel small, degrading someone is never acceptable. It's not acceptable. I don't care how much money you have or how much money you're paying or what types of material provisions you're receiving. That is not enough to buy yourself dignity and your self-worth. All right. So this is going to be a really brief message. I just wanted to come on here and address it because I noticed that because these posts are getting a lot of traction, it's attracting a lot of trolls who feel entitled to some type of explanation or um, a deeper expounding from me. And I'm here to tell you that I'm not talking to you. So you can mind your business and you can read the room and understand that I'm talking to women. So if you feel like, you're offended or you don't agree with it, you don't think that I'm coming at it the wrong way, or, I should be more private about it. I shouldn't be discussing my business because it makes men look bad or whatever. This is not the page for you. You can kindly beat it because I'm not here for you, and that's okay. And I'm not here for everybody, and I don't want to be. You know, there's actually a lot of times where certain people have expressed their disdain with me and my content, and I take it as an extreme compliment. Coming from you, sir, you don't like me? Then that means I am successful because the type of woman you like, I would never be, could never be. So just keep that in mind. When people try to tear you down, you always consider the source. Always consider the source. I am no longer going to hide my story. I'm no longer going to hide behind shame and guilt. I am going to share my story and I am going to share what I've learned and lessons that I've learned along the way of being in an abusive marriage and how that has empowered me and emboldened me even further to continue to step into my goddesshood, to continue to never doubt that small little still voice inside of me that tells me, I don't think this is the right one. I don't think this is the right move. I don't think this is the right decision. And we are encouraged as women and programmed even from a very young age to ignore that and to go along and do what men want us to do and what society wants us to do. And that is largely in part to the fact that we live in a very patriarchal society. Excuse me. So, other than that, if you have any questions or comments or feedback, my inbox is always open. I'm getting prepared to go and take my daily walk, which I'm looking forward to because the sun is shining, the weather is sweet. It's not Jamaica, but it's beautiful outside. So I hope that everyone continues to have a beautiful day. I want you to remember that you are love, you are perfection, you are bliss, you are joy. That is your true nature. Become aware of that. Become aware that you are all these things. You are not the thoughts in your head. You are not the experiences that have happened to you. All right. And I will talk to everyone soon. Let me go ahead and make sure Facebook is off because I have a tendency to think I'm done on Facebook and then I'm on YouTube and then it streams for like a long time afterwards. Oh, I'm still alive. Okay. End stream. See, this is where I always get it. Okay. End it.